Hello, this is Ruth Ann McKinnon. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming for you a haul video of different perfumes. They are all 100% of them very affordable, except for I have a couple of samples that if they were full size they wouldn't be so reasonably priced. So I'm just going to get started. First off, I have a real cheapie. This is Charlie White. Charlie White is by Revlon, and this fragrance I believe was formulated in the 90s. This is a very clean white musk with some citrus notes and some florals to give it character. However, really what it is a clean white musk. This is a perfect summer fragrance, and I can't imagine anyone disliking it. It lasts about 4 to 6 hours. This bottle, no lie, was about $10, including shipping, purchased on eBay. And the Charlie line of fragrances, I mean, don't sleep on those. They're really, really good. They're very inexpensive. You know, Charlie Blue and the original Charlie, you have to like Chypres, but pretty much everyone likes a nice, clean white musk. You just can't go wrong with this. You just can't. And it, like I said, it performs better than a lot of much more expensive fragrances. Charlie Red is an excellent tuberose, heavy red floral. All the Charlies are really, really good. The only one I don't like is Charlie Silver, and that is really a citrus fragrance, and that it just has no performance. So that's the only one out of all of the Charlie line that I don't recommend, but this one I highly recommend. And the reason I purchased it, because I already have another bottle, this is, I guess you could call it a backup, is because someone had left a comment on one of my other videos that it had been discontinued. So I bought another bottle. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, Charlie White, highly recommend. Next up, I have an Avon fragrance. So this is Candid. I've talked about Candid in my last 2 videos, so I'm just not, and I know that people watching this haven't necessarily watched my others, so I'm just going to briefly tell you about what Candid is like. First of all, it's very affordable Avon fragrance. This one was $12, and that includes shipping. I purchased it on eBay. This is a sandalwood fragrance. There are other notes, floral notes, probably musk in here as well. However, the way that this wears is sandalwood from beginning to end. Is a sandalwood fragrance. It's dry. It does not have the complexity and character of Guerlain's Samsara. Samsara, if you're into sandalwood, you probably know that fragrance. That one is very dark, mysterious, complex, lasts 24 hours or more. Candid is more of a warm, inviting, everyday kind of a fragrance, and although it's dry, it's still warm. It's a very friendly fragrance. You could wear Candid on a date night. You could wear Candid to go out and rake your leaves. It is signature scent worthy, lasts a good 4 to 6 hours. Doesn't have the performance of Samsara, but I have to admit that I like Candid better. I really do. I love Samsara, but I like Candid better. So if you like sandalwood and you haven't tried this, I highly recommend it. You just can't go wrong at this price. Absolutely cannot go wrong. Then I have another Avon fragrance. This one is Timeless. Timeless came out in the 70s. It was kind of Avon's answer to Charlie, I think. That's what I suspect anyway. However, this is much more wearable than Revlon's Charlie. It's kind of like if you had Charlie and you toned down the oak moss and you toned down the aldehydes, but you ramped up the amber. Now, the original Charlie has a lot of oak moss. Oak moss is number 1. Number 2 is amber. This Timeless is amber's number 1. This is primarily an amber fragrance. It's very warm, very inviting, very attractive, very feminine. It does have some aldehydes in there, so if you like Chanel number 5, you'll like Timeless. If you like Charlie, you'll like Timeless. If you like any kind of amber, if you're an amber lover, I believe you'll like Timeless. Now, you might find Timeless to be dated, but, you know, $10, $11, $12 a bottle. You can't go wrong giving it a try. And you can always give it away if you don't like it. But I love this fragrance. It's so nice. And then for both Candid and Timeless, Avon makes a scented body cream, which is of the same scent. And the scents in those body creams are actually strong enough. So they layer beautifully and wear well. And one causes the other to last longer. So I have probably 2 or 3 of the body creams, and I always wear them together, and they're just absolutely beautiful, fabulous, and timeless. There's a perfect name for that fragrance. All right. Next, I have a few here that were gifted to me. So I have a perfume friend that I've made, and we give each other the things that we didn't work out for us. So this is Holston, and this is the female cologne. There's a men's as well. This is a small half fluid ounce bottle. And I'm really glad to have this for traveling. Now, I do have a full-size one, and I enjoy it very much. This is a very strong chypre fragrance. So you've got a lot of oak moss in here. It's very heavy, very strong. You have to go really light on the sprays with this. I can usually get about 2 or 3, maybe 4, and that's about it. And it lasts 8 to 10 hours. Very strong, very long-lasting. Very old school. This fragrance threatened to take over the 70s. When I was a kid, most of the moms had a bottle of Halston, they had a bottle of Charlie, and they had a bottle of Timeless on their dressers. And also they always had the body powders, those with the big puffs. Every woman, I mean, it was like a law that every woman had to have one of those on their dresser or on their dressing table, because back then a lot of our moms still used dressing tables. Now they're only seen in thrift stores, but they were still a thing back then. So anyway, long lasting, but man, you've got to like chypres, you got to like oak moss to like Halston, which I still like. And I will wear this in public. You know, I've seen a lot of perfume channels talk about, I really like this fragrance, I really like this one, it's nostalgic, whatever, but I won't wear it in public. And that's not me. If I like it, I'll wear it. I am not shy about these things. So Halston, highly recommend it. You can get these bottles dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. All right, a couple of other samples that she gave me. This is Guerlain's Nahima, and this is a 5 ml. She didn't care for this. Now this is a really heavy, it's like violet on steroids with man, I don't even know. It doesn't have the Guerlainade, that funky kind of animalic scent. It's a very wearable, but it's heavy. And it smells a lot like heady florals, a lot of musk and maybe some amber in there. But it's a really strong fragrance. It reminds me a lot of L'Air Bleu, but heavier. So anyway, my little sample of it, I just wanted to show it to you. And then she sent me a Frederic Malle Carnal Flower, and it's empty. So I have no idea why she sent it to me empty, but I can still smell it. And I don't care for it. And I know that this is a popular fragrance. I'm just smelling it now to refresh my memory. But this Carnal Flower to me smells like plastic. It smells like lipstick, and it smells like, I don't know, peony maybe, some kind of a floral. I mean, obviously it's called Carnal Flower, but it is really not my jam. Absolutely not my jam. She also sent me a tiny bottle of Ma Griff, which is by Carvin. This is just a very strong, very dry, almost bitter green fragrance. So I'm thinking that I didn't look it up, but the green in here is oak moss well, I'm not sure exactly what the note is that's green in here. It doesn't smell, I have some other really heavy green fragrances, and it's different. This is different. This is a little bit harsher, And I think if this were in a spray bottle, I would have a hard time wearing it because it's so harsh. But I like all green fragrances. I don't think I've met one yet that I don't like. I like them from grassy all the way to when they're super oak mossy and earthy. This one is really green. It's nothing like Chanel number 5, or I mean number 19. Number 19 is very ladylike and floral. This is not that. This is more earthy and harsh. So, but I'm glad to have it, that I have got to try it. All right, so I'm done with the gifted ones, and I'm going to have 3 more here. Next up, I have Lanvin's Arpege. This is a sample tester bottle, and Arpege is a classic 1920s white floral. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a hyacinth accord powdery white floral. Extremely classic, extremely ladylike, and every time I wear it, it gives it something a little different. It's one of these with tons of notes. It changes on you as you wear it. It changes from time to time that you wear it, but it's always a lady. It's always beautiful. Some days it gives me a lot of animalic notes. Some days it's all hyacinth. Others it's all like a lavender powdery fragrance. I just absolutely, no, lavender's the wrong word. Lilac is the word. I don't know if lilac is a note in here, but it kind of has an accord that comes off sometimes as lilac. And then sometimes it has an accord that really is hyacinth dominant. And during the day, I spray this on in the morning and I'm like, oh, powder. And then an hour later, oh, I'm getting lilac. And oh, now I'm getting hyacinth. And oh, now it smells a little musky, a little animalic. And it's always perfect. It's one of my absolute favorites, and I would never, ever want to be without it. And these bottles you can get in the 20s on eBay easy, especially if you get a tester. Highly recommend. All right, I have 2 more. Next up, I have, for something completely not serious, Britney Spears' Circus Fantasy. So, you know, Britney Spears came out with these fragrances in the early 2000s, and of the whole line of the fantasy fragrances, Circus is my favorite. Now, it's kind of become a thing with a lot of Perfume channel reviewers. There's not a ton of reviews on Circus. It's there, of course, it's there, but people mostly don't take it seriously, and they tend to downplay it, call it juvenile. A lot of reviewers I've seen say it's my least favorite of the whole line. Well, maybe I'm weird and I have strange tastes, and that could very well be, you know, maybe that's absolutely true, but this one's my favorite. It's, if you take the original Fantasy and you take down, I'm going to take this way, you take down the cupcake accord, you take down the kiwi, and you put in instead a big boost of apricot blossom, this is primarily an apricot blossom perfume. And then instead of the cupcake, you have this sawdust scent, which is a cedar wood that's in here. And cedar wood chips is what you have in the on the floor at an actual circus. So when they bring out the animals, the whole floor is covered with these cedar wood chips. I think it's cedar. Anyway, and it pervades the whole smell of the tent or the building that the circus is in. And I used to go to a lot of circuses when I was a kid, when they used to go around. I don't know if it's still a thing anymore. But anyway, this is beautiful. When I'm craving a sweet fragrance, I'm craving this. When I'm craving something really sweet and woody and playful, I crave this. When I am feeling discouraged, I don't get depressed, but you know, when you're just feeling a little down and I need to pick me up, this is the one that does it. This is a happy fragrance. Over everything that I've said about it, everything that I've described about it, this is the happiest fragrance I've ever owned. It's just happiness in a bottle. Sunshine, sweet happiness. You know, that's my take on it. Now, other people may find other things. about this fragrance, but that's my take on this fragrance, and I absolutely love it, and I don't ever want to be without it. So I'm almost done with my other bottle, and so I had to make sure I would never be without it, and I bought another one. And then I have one left, and this was a gift. So this is Calvin Klein Eternity for Women Aromatic Essence. This was a gift from my husband for Christmas. And he did something surprising, because this is the first Christmas in years that I have not given him links to fragrances that I wanted him to buy for me. I just decided this year I wanted a pearl necklace instead, and I wanted a real pearl necklace. So that's what he bought me, and that was expensive. So I didn't ask for any perfume, but look what he did. He went out on his own. He went to a perfume counter in a big department store, and he said about 100 perfumes, and this is the one he chose. So I looked it up, and I like it. It's a 2024 Calvin Klein release, and the top notes are key lime, aquatic notes, ambrette accord, and lavender. In the mid, there's coconut, salt peony, black currant, and the base is sandalwood. So this is supposed to be a summery, beachy coconut fragrance, and I would say that it definitely is that. But what I get out of it more, believe it or not, is the sandalwood, and it's slightly shampoo-y. So you get all the notes in there are blended, and I don't really get one note over the others, if that makes sense. So we describe that in the perfume world as being well blended. So if you can really pull out one note, two notes, this is in the top, this is in the mid, then it's a more of a note kind of fragrance, if that makes sense. If it's well blended, it's all in there together, and it just kind of comes across as one thing that's unique from every other thing in terms of every other perfume. That's what Eternity for Women Aromatic Essence is like for me. There's freshness, there's a beachiness to it, but I wouldn't call it a beachy fragrance. I wouldn't call it a fresh fragrance. I wouldn't call it a lime fragrance. I wouldn't call it a coconut fragrance. It's kind of like all of that stuff blends together to make this fragrance, which is just unique in and of itself. It's got a bit of saltiness. It's got a bit of beachiness. It's got a bit of coconut. It's got a bit of black currant. I would say the number one note that I get is sandalwood. I have not seen any other reviews of it. I don't know what anyone else thinks of it. I did look it up on Fragrantica, and there isn't much in there in terms of reviews for it because it's so new, I guess. But I recommend it, and I wore it for 2 days on Christmas night when I opened it up, and then the next day. And it's definitely a summer fragrance. So I'm going to pull it out again next summer. But I love it. It's very, very nice. It lasts about 6 hours. And I just want to commend my husband. You know, he usually gravitates. He really prefers Chanel fragrances. Those are his favorite. And he likes Guerlain. Like, he really likes L'Heure Bleu and things like that. So this is a big departure for him. And having smelled 100 fragrances and to pick this one out for me means it's really special to me. So I'm going to treasure it. And so thank you so much for watching. That's all I have for this haul. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.